let's flip a coin. Head Carolina, tails California, somewhere greener, somewhere warmer.
Okay, this is Ask Andy Show. Traveled nonstop for 16 plus years and went to 95 countries. Maybe by the time you see this, I might have been in more countries. But I'm recording a few of them today because I'm having trouble here in Europe setting up my camera regularly every day. Okay, Christopher W. asks, "Hi Andy, I am thinking about new ways of living my life. I am attracted to the life you live as revealed through your videos. I sometimes wonder how many hours a day you spend wandering the cities, doing online work, planning your travels, and so forth. Are there any interesting activities that you do that you could share as well? An avid follower living vicariously through your videos for now." Okay, how much time I spend? Okay, my day consists of this. I wake up, I normally get on the internet for about an hour, hour and a half, and you know, answer emails, clean emails, delete emails, you know, something like that. Here in Europe's different than, you know, everywhere you go it changes, because what I'm saying is everywhere I go I have a different problem. Here I probably spend an hour a day in Europe to 2 hours planning for the next destination. So I'm spending, you know, radical amounts of time on planning here, because, which is really annoying me. I got to study the map. I got to study whether there's going to be taxis at the next place where I'm at, how the transport how to get to the bus stop, how to get from the bus stop to the hotel, and what's going to be safe, what's going to be optimal, what's going to be things. So I'm spending a lot of time in Europe, and I don't really have to do that in Africa, or I don't have to do that even in Central and South America, or even Asia. I just arrive there, I know there's going to be a taxi, I just get a taxi, I pay $1 and get to my room. In Europe I gotta get this all figured out, because I need to do it safely, and it's more dangerous traveling in Europe for me, because I can't take taxis the way I want. Planning your travels and so forth, wandering the cities. I really go wander the city about 3 times a day. I've already done it 2 times today, and usually I'll go out, you know, around 5, 6 o'clock before sunset and just do a short walk. I do my longest walk first thing in the morning, which is usually about an hour, and then about, I don't know, 10 or 11, 12 o'clock, whenever, you know, before my nap. I take a nap about an hour every day at about 2 o'clock. I will, in between, I always kind of check my emails in between this thing, because I have an online business, right? And then I'll go for another walk, which will probably be for a half hour, an hour. And then I have these projects. About every day I have like a kind of a to-do list. It's pretty soft to-do list. It's not really written out that heavily unless I'm getting overloaded with things to do. Then I'll take an index card and I'll write it down there. And I got these projects. So right now I did a project I showed the other day where I'm repairing my backpack. I'm not repairing my backpack. I'm adding features to my backpack so I can tie things on correctly. My backpack's, I haven't ever had a backpack that was built correctly that would do everything I need it to do. So I add, you know, I'm going to add little pieces of strip on. But these are things to optimize my life, and I have things like I need to go get money from the ATM. I need to look for, you know, certain things. A lot of times I probably spend about an hour of my day just walking around, being a lad. I just learned the word in British slang. Being a lad, which is I guess to say a guy that goes out and does guy things and looks at girls and tries to find my future wife. Okay, so I spend an hour doing that, and I usually watch probably 1 to 2 videos a day, movies a day. And if I don't have movies, I'll be reading a book. I can read a book. I've already read about 3 books since I've been in Europe, so I got a Kindle here that I can read a book, and it takes me about 2 days to read a book here in Europe. So I got a lot of free time, and I make these Ask Andy things. I try to do that for about a half hour, hour a day. They start stacking up. But what's probably the unique about my day is that when I go for these long walks, I don't plan them, and I don't have any destination in mind. And I just go walking that way, then I'll go walking that way, and that way. Like the Wizard of Oz, some go both ways. The Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz, he said some go this way, some go that way, and some go both ways. Always like that in the Wizard of Oz. But it's serendipitously looking for the world, to discover the world. And I find this the greatest pleasure in all. I'm a little annoyed here in Europe because every single person in the hostel is on a itinerary. They're going out there, they got a regime, boom, this is good, this is good, this is good, they do this, and they actually work it like they have to go see these things. Or I call it greed. It's kind of tourism greed. They feel that they're not going to be okay, and I know that I'm going to forget 90% of these things, and so I just don't care. If something sounds tempting, I go do it. I went to the Tesla Museum the other day, and they had a statue of Clinton over here that I thought it'd be fun to go make a joke about, and I take a video. But generally over the day, I do only what I'm tempted to do that sounds fun. And that, I never have this obligation. I don't, just because somebody's going to go look at a tourist attraction, I just don't care. I do only if my inner soul says it sounds fun. And what would make me go do it with them would be if I like that person. Stand alone to just go walk to a tourist attraction by yourself is really kind of boring. Okay. And I'm not sure what the goal is. I'm not sure what the purpose is. Most things are churches and cathedrals and just not really noteworthy in the whole scope of the world. I do try to understand if there's anything that's unique to the city. Sometimes I just walk up to people. Is there anything in the world in this city that is nowhere else on the planet and is, one of a kind, only going to find here? And I remember I was in Taipei, Taiwan, and I asked that. I found out that it was the 5th highest building in the world there, and the owners of the hostels didn't know that. Didn't really look at that as being kind of a one-of-a-kind thing. But it takes a long time before you get the art of not paying attention to people and not needing to be doing something, or you feel like you're, I call it the human doing. It takes a long time before you put down the hammer and say doing nothing's okay. And for me, I'm a lazy boy. Doing nothing is fine. And I really look forward to my movies, my books, and I look forward to walking around and looking at girls and sometimes touching. But I'm in Southeastern Europe. It's not quite the same. Okay. I hope that answers your question. It's never a plan, and when you can get to where you have a life where there's no plans, I've given up the baggage of planning things. I only plan my next destination, my next hotel, and if I didn't get up and do anything tomorrow, that would be fine with me. Okay, Andy Graham, thank you. Good question, Chris.